People ain't loyal no more. It's time to talk. Stuart, thank you for accepting my invitation to Beyond Loyalty. It's absolute pleasure to have you here. We've known each other for a while. I had a pleasure and honor to work alongside with you on a big contract. We will touch a little bit about those days, and you know, I'm so impressed what you did with yourself to get yourself in this kind of shape, and you know, the fitness became your number one thing, apart from family, obviously.
Yeah, obviously the family, but no, really good to see you again. It's been a long time since we caught up.
How long have we not seen each other?
I reckon 2018.
18? Is that where we saw each other last time?
Yeah, I think you went off to do your own thing.
Yeah.
And I stayed on the contract. And I think that was the last time we seen each other.
Yeah. 2016, I think it was it? 17, something like that? And then 17, I think it was.
It was a long time ago.
16, we were working together, yeah.
You know.
So let's go to recruitment. I still remember when I saw you first time. I was called by one of the supervisors who worked for me that time or with me, and Valerie called me to computer, and he says, "You have to see this." And I'm like, "What?" So I came to computer, and he's just showing me performance 120, 128, 115, and that was unique. That wasn't something that other people were doing. And I'm like, "Who's this guy?" "Stuart, new guy, you have to see him." So then I asked for you, and we had an initial chat, and I could see pure grafter. Is that something that you always had in you?
Yeah, I think it's always been in my DNA in terms of, you know, if I'm going to do something, it's going to be to the best of my ability. I don't do anything by halves. I think, you know, if I'm going to do something, it will be 110% or 120 in that case, you know. And I think that's just the way I'm born, you know.
That was crazy. I was looking at it like, who the fuck is this guy?
The big bald-headed guy.
It's a robot. Like, yeah. No one was performing like that. And some people were, but not. They didn't sustain it. And you were going every single one day. You were coming to work, just did your shit what you needed to do, and went back home. And I'm like, I wouldn't work with this guy.
Yeah, I think that's the key, isn't it? If you're going to do, like I said, if you're going to do something, do it to your best ability. And, you know, if I didn't do that, where would I be now? I'd probably still be picking on the same contract, you know.
True.
And I think...
And look where you are now.
Yeah, you get stuck in your ways in doing stuff. But for me, it was when you're picking, it's mind-numbing sometimes. Mm-hmm. You know, and if you get your head down and just crack on, you know, your days go quicker, the time goes quicker.
100%.
And I think... Also, you can lose a lot of weight by going a little bit faster. You know, I didn't know where that would take me at the time, but, you know.
So then, obviously, the supervisor's position came up, and we were looking for supervisor. Yeah. So, you know, and that's one of the reasons how people don't understand that in corporate world, you just create your reputation and, you know, being reliable person. Because when I was recruiting, even... at that time, it was a supervisor. You then advanced to a manager below me. But even for supervisor, I didn't really give a shit, like, what was your background and what did you do before? Because for me, it was important. You were the best picker, the best performer on the shop floor, and you were reliable. Yeah. If I needed you to work on Saturday, you were there. Yeah. And that's all I cared about, because I needed someone who's reliable, especially for supervisor roles, you know.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, you know, when you're if you don't have any ambition to progress, you know, I wanted to stand out, so it was the picking, then it was goods in, then it was supervisor, and almost that career progression. I didn't want to end up there, but I did, you know, through circumstances out of my control. I don't think anybody wants to go and work in a warehouse as a picker, but that's where I ended up at the time. So I think, you know, I always want to progress. Whatever I do, it has to be progression, continuous progression, and, you know, self-improvement as well, you know, just improving on what I can do.
100%.
And as you learn and gain knowledge in each job, you obviously become more valuable to them people. So
yeah, there is nothing better if you create that aura around you that you are irreplaceable. If your boss will think like, right, if I'm going to lose this person, I'm fucked. You know, I need to train someone long time, and you know, if you become irreplaceable, is obviously everyone is replaceable. I'm not saying that, you know, if you leave, the corporate world is still going. Unfortunately, you know, they have to do it, but they can have a tough times. You know,
yeah, I think them values have almost changed now in terms of everybody is irreplaceable.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, training systems have got easier.
Yeah.
You know, onboarding has got easier for people. So I think that sort of you are irreplaceable is long time gone. Unless you work for yourself.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That's the only way it's going to work.
So then, obviously, the time went by and you proved yourself as a supervisor, and the contract was in a bad shape. I remember. I was
really bad.
really bad shape. We had probably 40 people less than the board or headcount was saying. There were hidden numbers. It was tough, and I was in a kind of bad position because I remember I was probably 28, 29 years old. I don't even know if I was ready for this kind of responsibility or position, but I've been given that responsibility and I just grabbed it, and I just promised myself I have to succeed. I can't fucking fail here, you know. And then I put the team together. Then from supervisor you became a manager. Was it when
I
that guy left? Or?
Yeah, when that guy left, I moved over from PM shift to AM shift.
Yeah.
And then we sort of just become, where we had 3, it was 2, but the team was better.
Yeah.
You know, and I think we built a really strong team, you know, a blueprint for the rest of the network.
We built a structure basically. Yeah. So it was like I don't know, like Cosa Nostra. It was a structure basically. So I was giving you instructions and you were feeding that to supervisors, and it was working great. It was crazy. Like, you know, I could rely on you, and you had to rely on the supervisor. We had some great supervisors.
Yeah, and I think what was really good about that team, it was from 2 people who didn't know each other, which was me and you, both of different nationalities.
Yeah.
And what a team we made. And just touching back on your point, you know, you didn't think you were ready for that opportunity that arose. I think, when are we ever ready for anything? And, you know, and what you did is you just took what you knew, put them fundamental key blocks in place and built a team around you. And I think whatever business, contract, whatever that may be in life, I think them fundamental blocks that you put in are really good and key to success.
You learn along the way, you know. Yeah. We're never ready for anything. Like, it was the same there, but I remember the time when I was questioning myself, like, fucking hell, am I ready for this? Because I remember going to them 9 o'clock meetings, and I was shaking. I didn't eat sometimes because I was bringing bad numbers. You know, the performance wasn't great when we started, when we took over. The headcount wasn't great, so we needed more people. We needed better performing people, but we sorted it, and I think we had the best year in around the Christmas, and we just smashed it. We smashed the contract.
I think just touching on that point, and you know, when you said you go to the meetings and you're delivering bad numbers, what's the alternative at that point? You lie to that person and lose that trust.
Yeah.
You know, so I think even though you're delivering that bad numbers, and I know when I went on that meeting myself and I had a single piece of paper and it was shaking because I was delivering bad news. But I think once...
It was tough.
Yeah, once you go
to
back...
stand there, you know.
in front of a client, you know, and you're going to tell them you're 40 people short, you know, what do you want them to be? Happy at the end of the day, you know. You've got...
When they've got responsibility to deliver, basically, and they've got bosses above them. So, it was tough. And
I think that time in recruitment as well, we were at a tough point where, you know, the change of nationalities, where it had prominently been Polish and Eastern European, it was changing during that time.
Yeah.
So the abundance,
it was tougher to get right people in.
Workers, and the quality for getting people to work in a fridge, you know, completely different, you know. So I think, you know, when you're going to a client and you're saying, I'm 40 people short, but you're recruiting the right people for that role now, and this is the plan you've got, and you're going to execute that plan. I think you can't, what can they say to you?
Yeah. I remember a day when I went to Kev's office and I said to him, listen, I have to tell you how it is. We don't have these people. How come you don't have them? Because, that headcount is bullshit. It's not reality. This is the reality. This is what I'm working on, and this is where we're going to be. And we did it eventually. And I'm so grateful to him, to be honest with you, because he gave me an opportunity to become a man that I am now, because he gave me, trust. He trusted me, and I proved myself that I can do it.
I do think that you built up that trust. It wasn't there always, especially when you come through the back end of something that had gone bad. So I think you had to. We changed
it, and again, it's going back to what I'm preaching about all my life. It's loyalty, transparency. Don't bullshit. Just tell the things how they are, and if you need to improve something, just focus on improvement.
100%. And I think if you've got a loyal team, if you've got loyal people,
mate,
they'll run through brick walls for you.
When we changed that contract to good numbers and we were succeeding, we were delivering, I felt like Leonidas from 300, mate. Honestly, I had Sparta behind me.
I am Sparta.
I had warriors behind me who were willing to fucking die for me, because I gave them my loyalty and trust, and you were delivering all the work. I knew that if I gave you some task and we needed to do something, it was delivered, and that's it.
Yeah, and I think you've got them.
And same with the supervisors. Obviously, they had to manage all the people on the shop floor.
Yeah.
There was 300 people they had to manage, eight supervisors across 3 shifts.
100%. And I think just for me, just going back to my journey in terms of when I come to that contract, I'm a couple of years younger, believe it or not, than you, but I come to that contract. I've never really been in a position like that before, but I know how to treat people. I know, one thing I'm not going to do is stand to your face and lie to you. And I think once you get that team, regardless, sky's the limit in terms of what you can achieve. And I think if everyone is on the same page and buying into it, and like I said, I had a good mentor in you. I've obviously gone through my journey within recruitment. You went off and done your own thing in terms of where you are now. But and I think you have some really good mentors that you pull different pieces off each one, like a jigsaw.
You learn
every step of the way.
Always from everyone you meet on your journey.
Yeah, one of them said every day is a school day, and you learn something new every day. And I think if you can take that into your day-to-day living, that you're going to learn something every day, whether that's through reading, whatever that may be, I think it's really valuable to you as a person,
Definitely.
And some days you might come up against brick walls. And I think we did it a lot of times on that contract.
Lots of times. It was tough at some times, but I remember the good times more when everything was sorted, we recruited enough people, we were letting people go for more holidays and go home around the Christmas, when year before the contract was struggling to deliver numbers.
Yeah, and it's weird because volume's up year on year.
Yeah.
Contracts.
It was
thriving.
the same. It's just we strengthened it up, and we had a great team below us. I couldn't do anything without my team, without you, without them 8 supervisors, without them 2 ladies administrators who were doing the payroll. It was the whole team together.
Yeah, 100%. And once that team is forming, it is a bit uncertain. But then
obviously the right people delivered the right message to workers, and they were performing.
Yeah, and I remember just touching back on that one Christmas, I think something had fell over. It had not come in through the night, some of the deliveries. And I think we needed something like 80 people to come in at 11 o'clock. And you're ringing people up who, you're trying to get in at 11 o'clock. They're waking up at 9 o'clock and they're coming into work for you. So I think all instilled throughout that contract was loyalty from everybody, to be honest.
100%.
So, the workers, you put your trust in them, you give them opportunity, you speak to them like human beings, whereas it was unknown. An agency was so badly known that, they were told they had to work. We never forced anybody to work. It was always, do you want to come into work? Do you want to do overtime?
You know how many times happened to me when I was ringing like this for someone to come into work for 11 o'clock, for example, when they shift supposed to start 3 p.m. They said, Martin, because it's you, I'm coming.
Yeah, exactly. And you can't buy that, you know.
And that feeling like, wow, I've done something for you and you giving me back now. You know, you come in and save my ass that I will deliver these 15, 20 people that were needed to come in earlier. And it was tough because, you know, they finished late shift, for example. They slept 6-7 hours and they had to go to work again.
Yeah, and they're getting a message in the morning when they wake up, would you like to work overtime today? You know, and I think that was, you know, it was unknown, the sort of numbers that we were putting out at the time, you know, and not only that, like you just said, the 2 admin girls, the payroll,
everything, the whole team. The whole team was just incredible.
We built a blueprint for the rest of the network, which was, you know, again, unknown for the time. You know, performance, 110%.
I was gutted that, you know, I had to go, but again, my loyalty kicked in. I wanted to stay with the company that I was for a couple of years, and I went to Slaughterhouse and
Nice.
Sausage Company.
Nice.
It was a shy job, to be honest with you, comparing with where we were, but I was glad that, you know, you stayed, you took that responsibility because you deserved it.
Yeah.
And one of the things I think important, like you said to me when we had a chat, you always want to improve yourself.
Yeah.
And that was the second reason why I left, because I was thinking myself, okay, if I stay here, what am I going to learn?
Yeah, we were very.
I've already proved myself that I can do this. We delivered on the numbers. It would be just another year in the same place, and I wouldn't learn anything new. And I'm like, it's time to go.
I think it was a time. It was comfortable.
It was comfortable.
Very.
In the end, it was comfortable.
Yeah, really comfortable.
But I remember the days when it was very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That I was coming to work with good feeling, not even
wanting to
thinking
show
if I'm
up.
gonna eat something, and delivering bad numbers, and then suddenly we were reporting performance over 100%. You know, headcount was good, and everything was
really
was
good
great.
time, and you know, really strong experience to have. At
Definitely,
such a young age
it shaped
as well.
me. It shaped me that
I believe
experience,
so.
because I went from, you know, looking after the contract that is in a bad shape, and we changed it. If we lost it, you know, it would be a big loss.
Yeah.
It was turning around 100k a week that time.
Yeah. Really good
You know,
contract, really good team.
And the contract that would have massive effect on the other contracts with the same company. I don't want to name it, but
I think,
you know what I mean.
I think the fact now we have fond memories and what we learned from that contract.
Yeah.
You know, good times for me.
Good times.
Good times. And like I said, and I know now the contract is still doing well to this day. It's been through different managers within there.
Yeah.
And it's still got the same fundamentals that we rolled out.
Is Kev still there, or? No?
He's been around the block, I think. So he's been everywhere and just come back.
Come back. Good.
Yeah, there's a few people still there, still doing really well, you know. So, but,
Brilliant.
Yeah, really good times, I think.
At Rainbow Northwest, we make real estate effortless. Whether you're looking to sell on the market, off market through our exclusive investor database, or via auction, we've got you covered. Plus, we offer top-notch property and project management, including refurbishment for investors. We can help you to build your own portfolio. Let us help you on your real estate journey. Rainbow Northwest, your trusted real estate business partner.
Right, fitness.
And
never.
let's get started.
Let's get started. So, what I'm interested in is, what was the trigger? Because I remember you as a very motivated guy who, when you when you had a task, you would do it for 150%, not 100. But I never remember you as a guy who was looking after what you were eating. You were I don't see you being overeating or anything like that, but we never looked after it. We were eating in a local canteen. The food wasn't... It was okay, but not the best for fitness, journey.
Keeping cheerful, wasn't it? Let's say how it is. It was what it... it was what it was, you know. But I think for me,
What was the trigger?
that everyone keeps asking me. The 5th of January was just saying we just come out of a heavy Christmas.
Yeah.
Obviously with the job, it's busy, peak time. You come out of Christmas, you know, you've had too much.
Is that 2
food.
years ago?
2 years ago, yeah. You've come out of Christmas, you're feeling bloated. I took the kids' football on in the August, and started playing with them. So, you know, the fitness was there a little bit. I've always played football all my life, to be honest. And then started 5th of January, joined the gym, and like we said earlier, the only thing I did for 6 months was cross trainer. I couldn't run. I was too big. I always said, "Oh, I've got shin splints." I was just too fat. You know, I never had shin splints. I was just too fat at the time. You know, and I'm honest with myself. You know, I knew exactly what I was. You know, when people are trying to be nice to you and they're saying, "Oh, he's big boned," it's not big boned. You're just fat.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just the way I was at the time. And you know, if someone had given me that kick up the arse that I needed, probably would have done it earlier. But the sad thing for me, I joined the gym on January the 5th. It was a gym local to me that my mate runs, and I've known him all my life. So I've gone to sign up, and he asked me the question, "When was the last time you come?" I said, "Oh, it's quite recent." He went, "Oh yeah, I can see 2013. This is 2023. You know, 10 years ago was the last time I actually went into the gym, which coincides, you know, a couple of years after my son was born. And I think you just get into that stagnant stage of your life. And once I got in the gym, you know, full of anxiety, full of everyone staring at me, the usual stuff, you know, I jumped on that treadmill, I put my headphones in, I could have been anywhere in the world. You know, I could have been anywhere in the world, and all I said to myself is, you go on that. And I remember the first time I jumped on a cross trainer, and my target was something like 3 miles. And, you know, I did that and I was made up with myself. Now I'm doing 20 miles on a cross trainer, you know, and it's like, I love fitness. I love training. Probably took it too extreme to start with. You know, dropping down to 13 stone, and everywhere I went, everyone's asking me, am I okay? And because I got a bald head, everyone thinks I'm ill, you know. But, you know, you get into that routine and discipline, and I think, you know, once you have that motivation to turn up, and all you have to do is turn up.
Yeah.
That is it.
But I think discipline is more important, because you can be motivated day before, and when you...
Discipline, motivation, and consistency. The 3 things you need to achieve whatever
Anything,
you want. Yeah, not just in fitness, but I think if you've got that, you know, it will take you far with whatever you do. And I think fitness is what I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
You know, and whatever I can do around fitness, you know, I love doing it. I love being there with the gym. You know, my wife works out with me now. There's a fantastic guy at the gym who's a PT, Rob. You know, he's doing the page with me. You know, some of the experience he's been doing it all his life. So you learn off people all the time. And like I said, every day is a skill day.
Yeah.
You're just constantly learning different skills. And, you know, whether that's gym, business, whatever that may be, you know, that's what you're doing constantly. And like now, I go into the gym and, you know, you don't have to.
So how long did it take you to get yourself in a good shape from where you were?
So once I fixed the diet, I think about 6 months.
6 months.
You know, and that was from 21 stone to...
It's mainly about diet, is it?
Yeah.
I mean, you can train hard, but if you eat shit...
Yeah, there has to be a balance. And I'm not saying everyone go and do what I do constantly. You know, you have your balanced lifetime. And everyone is individual to their journey. Like, you know, one journey isn't going to be the same as next. And that's why it has to be tailored to that person.
Yeah.
And I think
with the training as well, like some people don't like running.
Yeah.
Go on bike, you know, and
so many
do other cardio, HIIT
forms.
Trainings, you know, you can do.
I think it's just finding what works for you at that time.
And what do you enjoy as well?
You know, not everyone's going to get up and run 10k.
Yeah.
Because they won't enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, but they might go and do 5 miles on the cross trainer like I did.
Yeah.
And the feeling is the exact same. You know, once you're in there and you're doing it, it's exactly the same as what you're doing. But, you know, I know a lot of people feel uncomfortable about going to the gym, you know, and you see a lot of guys in there, big weights, you know, and if you're not at that point in your journey, or whatever journey you're on, sometimes it can make you feel uncomfortable. But I promise you now, no one is staring at you in that gym.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
they've all got their own journey that they're on.
Yeah, definitely.
And you know, that's just.
It's just the limitations we create.
Yeah, it's just another barrier that we put up against ourselves, and you've just got to go and smash them barriers. And it's just constant all the time. And I think, like we just said, discipline, motivation, and consistency. You do that, you're onto a winner. But food, when it comes to your diet, food's too easy, isn't it? You know, the Domino's, it's too easy to go and get it, you know, and get it delivered. And I think the hard part, you know, what's it take 6 minutes for salmon or chicken? You know, it doesn't take long to cook chicken, and you can have a nutritious, wholesome meal rather than fast, and because you get nothing from it. Let's all face it. When you've had a pizza, you know, you're hungry 10 minutes later, or a McDonald's. You know, everyone's hungry later on. But I think if you can just continuously, you know, be better than yesterday.
Is that what you're always trying to do? Be better?
1% better than yesterday. You don't have to be up against anybody else, do you? Just yourself. If you can improve on yesterday, that's all it is.
Everyone's journey is unique.
Yeah, 100%. Everybody's journey is unique. You know, your journey will be different from my journey.
Definitely.
My body is different from your body, even though we weigh the same now. But you know, I was a lot heavier than you at one point. But I think everybody's limitations. You know, you could be out walking 20,000 steps on the bins each day, and I think the reason I got myself into such a mess in terms of it, because I'd be in a Monday to Friday job. I'd get home at the weekend. I've had a really tough week. Create a beer, you know. And then the food that comes along with that as well, you know, when you've had a beer.
Always cravings, yeah.
Always craving something unhealthy. And I think once you get out of that mindset, you know, it's not like you're walking on the bins doing 20,000 steps. You know, mentally you might be tired, but, you know, your body's still full of energy. And I think once you focus that energy.
Is this what you want to do in the future? Train people?
100%. You know, what that looks like to me, I'm not sure at this moment, but we started the TikTok page earlier on in the month. I think that's had a good response to it. I think we're up to about 12,000 followers at the minute on Muscle Minded. Wow. The dream would just be to train people and give them advice, you know. And I think when we do that, obviously Rob's a PT who runs the page with me as well, and I think I've lived and breathed every part of their journey that they're currently on, whether they're sat at home in bed thinking about going to the gym or they're in the gym. I think we've lived and breathed every part of that journey, and I think there's no one better to speak to who's been 21 stone. You know, they've had to diet, they've had to be disciplined, they've had to show up every day, and I think that's just the best advice you can get. Like I said, if you learn one thing from me, you've learned your thing for the day, haven't you? You know.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, it's
inspirational because, you know, as I said, I never remember you as a guy who had that much discipline in it. You know, you didn't. Not that you wouldn't care about yourself, but it wasn't your priority.
No, it definitely wasn't.
And
a priority.
it's inspirational, and you know, to see that it became your priority, because I think is it age thing that we start more look after ourselves as well. Like I cut alcohol recently to absolute minimum. I would have a beer, you know, from time to time I'll have whiskey, but I'm not drinking like I used to.
Yeah, I think I've done enough drinking for a lifetime. You know, I'm not no saint, by the way. You know, I've drank, like I said, every weekend. And it just gets a bit boring. It gets a bit monotonous. It's the same old week in, week out. And I think until you break that cycle, you know, you used to finish work on a Friday. You'd be going home having your takeaway, a few beers, feeling rubbish Saturday.
Yeah. Not training, obviously.
Not training. Food's not great. It's the same old. And then you go back to work, big roast dinner on a Sunday afternoon, you know, a bit of pudding. And then you're back to work on the Monday and you're stuck in that constant rut. And I think when you've got kids and you're running around for your kids and you've not got time, everyone says, I've not got time for the gym. Wake up earlier. That's all I would say. If the gym opens at 5 o'clock, go 5 till 6. Well, everyone's in bed. And just look.
It's about finding that time. Yeah. I train in the morning as well.
Yeah.
That works for me.
It's out of the way then, isn't it? And, you know, it's done. And what better way to set yourself up for the day than to go and train, get them.
Would you say that it's important for people in general to find something to work on.
In terms of
like you started work on yourself, like improving the things. For you, fitness now became a number one. Looking after your body, about the shape, about the food, and
yeah, I think if you work on yourself, whatever that may be, whether it's your mind, whether it's your body, whether you're reading a book every day and just trying to better yourself than what you were yesterday.
Yeah.
I think that's very powerful as a person, and I think if you can be consistent in that, you're probably better than 90% of the people, because there will only be 10% of the population doing something to improve themselves on a daily basis. Because like I said, you do get stuck in a rut. I've got the kids, I've got a beautiful family, and you get stuck in a rut and it gets comfortable.
I would say the change is needed all the time.
Yeah, always change.
It's not. I can't imagine myself to, for example, work for one company for 30 years and do the same thing every single one day. It's just not for me.
No, and I think you've done really well in terms of where you've gone in your journey as well. And we touched on that earlier, and I think that's where I am at the moment. I've been, I think, 11 years and 5 months since I started on that contract.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, where has the time gone?
Yeah.
I think we spoke the other day and we were talking about Millennium 25 years ago. If we put that forward, I'm walking around with a walking stick. So I'm going to use my body because I haven't had it for 10 years because I've not been able to run. So I'm going to run. I've not been able to go on the cross trainer or train muscles. So that's what I'm going to do. And as long as my body will hold up.
So what's your training like? If you split it in the days? You
gonna
run
say
3 days, you work out 4 days.
I'd say cardio 3 days, and then weights 4 days, sort of a 4-day split,
Never half day off?
No.
No?
No. Very, very, very rarely, unless I'm away. I'll tell you a story. We went out to Menorca on holiday in August last year. Every morning my routine was 100 sit-ups, 100 press-ups. My wife purposely booked the hotel to have no gym.
Okay.
Because she wanted me to have a week off. She said, you need a week off. There's a picture on my phone, which I'll share with you at the end of the podcast. I've got a rock on the beach. And I'm doing curls on the beach, And that's how it gets me, but that's what makes me happy. People have different things that makes them happy.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy that. So
you found your thing,
100%. And like I said, I had this injury 4 weeks ago playing football. That I have give up on because... at some point you have
broken ribs.
Broken ribs 4 weeks ago, and not being able to train and just have that option to go. It really mentally, it was like it was hard work.
Really?
Yeah, really mentally.
Even if you're not getting in a bad shape, just the training, you became kind of addicted to it.
Yeah, it's an addiction, but it's a good addiction.
Yeah.
And I think you do need rest. And I'm not saying that, but even if I've got 2 dogs, I'm out with the dogs, I'm out, life, sometimes I don't sit down to have my tea till 9 o'clock at night, but I do eat throughout the day, my protein shakes, the different things I have throughout the day. And I think when I was at 21 stone, I wasn't eating all day. So some days I'd wake up in the morning, wouldn't have breakfast because I'd be out on the road. I remember driving down to London, I got back at something like 8:30, and then I would load 2,000 calories up in one go and go to bed.
Yeah.
And there's no exercise. I've sat in the car all day driving, no exercise whatsoever. So I think it's very difficult if you're planning your meals better as well. But yeah, not really a day off per se. I'll always be doing something. I can guarantee that, like this morning, I've trained this morning. I'll probably be bored this afternoon and do a late gym session, whether that's cardio or whatever it'll be. I will still do it if I've got the time.
Yeah,
that's what I will do. Early wake ups, plenty of time in the day. Love it at the moment.
So when you run, minimum 10k per run?
Yeah, I'm not this person who's going to go and be the fastest person out there, but what I'm going to do is just plod on.
Yeah,
and I just plod on, and if that's 10k, 12k, 14k, whatever that may be, I'll just keep going until.
Would you do like half marathon or something like that?
Yeah, but
I
often just go out. Before the injury, I'd just go out and just do as many miles as I could. To be honest, normally it's time limitations. Like I said, I'm not the fastest, so you get 2 hours in and something comes up at home, or the kids are mithering for something. So it's normally a time limitation. And now the dark nights are closing in, it's getting more difficult. So it'll probably be Saturday, Sunday, or treadmill. That sort of cardio. I haven't got this explosive power where I can do HIIT classes all the time. And I think even though I do enjoy them when I do them, it's more, I'm not that explosive sort of person. It's weightlifting, it's cardio. We went away to Wales a couple of weeks ago. This was just after the ribs, I think 2 weeks after. I was doing 100 squats, sit-ups, press-ups, and just enjoying it, I think it's just that sort of mindset now. And I can't be the only one. There must be more people out there.
100%. Mate, listen, I walked into first gym when I was 14. I'm 40 now, you know. And I don't think I ever had like big breaks bigger than 1 week or something when I was really bad ill, like proper full of flu and shaking and temperature, It's just a habit. It will become a habit. Yes, I had... like peaks where I was fitter than I am now. Then I gained some weight. Then I was focused again, and it's always like that. But I never stopped.
Yeah,
I love jogging as well. I love gym.
I think
it just became a part of my life.
The nice thing about going for a run is, it doesn't matter how crap your day has been. When you're out on the road or on a treadmill, it's one foot in front of the other.
Yeah.
Nothing on your mind, and that's all you're focusing on. Whether you've got a little bit of music on or the birds are tweeting. What a brilliant feeling.
Yeah.
100%.
100%.
And I think it just helps your brain reset itself.
Yeah.
You've
got lots of time to think.
Yeah.
Process what happened either that day or day before, and what do you want to do?
I think this is the problem with sort of like, people taking a lot on and getting very anxious and stuff like that. I think your brain is just constantly overloaded, whether that's on your phone, whether that's in your day-to-day life. And I think just taking that time out for yourself, I know you do a lot of reading, and just allows that brain to take a break,
Yeah.
And I think that's very important. Otherwise, I don't know where I'd be, the job that I've got, the overload from that.
Have you ever been depressed?
I thought I was depressed, but, you can. I was able to snap out of it. I know people who have suffered with severe depression, and I think it's more when things get tough and your brain starts to tell you, this is what's happening. I think that's the real thing with depression. There is some people who are genuinely crippled by depression, or some people who, just need to get out of it and get out, probably back to nature. I think it's just that overload. I think at the palm of your hand, you've got 7 million problems on Facebook. You've got, everything going on. And I think that's probably one of the issues with modern day life, is just getting
people
back.
Try to compare themselves with the others, all you can see on Instagram is lovely lives, nice and expensive restaurants and nice cars and all that.
I always say, there's probably people sat there, there's them people sat there who are wishing for the Instagram lifestyle, but the people with the Instagram lifestyle probably want what they've got.
Yeah.
And they just want to be left alone, and just it's not the grass.
Broken relationships and all that.
The grass isn't always greener on the other side. And I think if you focus on what you have and not what everyone else has, I think that's powerful in life. And it doesn't matter whether you've got £1 or £1 million. You're still the same person.
You'll become more happy with what you got.
Yeah. And if you treat
always strive for better. I'm not saying not to push for better. We can strive for more money. Money is great,
Yeah. But just for me as a person, I couldn't care less if you have £1 million or £1. You're still the same person to me. 100%. We still went through the same experiences together in life, and I think, as long as you treat everybody that way, I think you're onto a winner in life.
100%. So, what's the most important to you these days?
Family is
Family.
always going to be, and I think it's similar to yourself. You know, we
Yeah.
share a lot of the same values.
Yeah.
You know, they're
I think that's why we work together well as well, because we both had misses, kids, and we were family guys. We wanted to just make better living for ourselves. That was it.
I think that's it. I think, you know, you come home at the end of the day, they're the only people who probably, you know, say hi to you at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Not these days, though. The kids are always off doing their own things, you know. It's very difficult. The dogs are the ones that are happy to see me.
Yeah. Same here.
Yeah.
You got 2 dogs as well?
2 dogs.
I've got 2 staffies as well.
Yeah, beautiful dog staffies, aren't they? Yeah,
love
nice
them.
dogs. That's
Loyal.
what I had growing up.
Loyal.
Very loyal dogs. To be honest, these 2 we got now, a Cocker Spaniel crossed with Shih Tzu, and they're probably the best dogs I've had. They're like so cuddly and just happy to see you all the time, you know, really good dogs. We travelled up to Doncaster for one last year, but yeah, really good dog.
So what's your plans now with this fitness? Where you want to take it?
As far as it'll go, to be honest, you know, whatever that looks like in whatever shape.
Train people.
Yeah, train people.
Inspire.
You know, keep growing the TikTok. Inspire people daily. If one person sees this, and you know,
Mate, your transformation is just next level. When I saw the pictures, you ripped like 8% body fat.
Yeah.
It's incredible. That takes lots of discipline.
It does, and it's all about that routine, you know.
Yeah.
I wake up early every day. Don't particularly train early, but I'm always out with the dogs or I'm doing something early on. I prefer to train after, you know, a hard day's work, and it just blows that steam off before I go to bed. Otherwise, I'm like a coiled up spring with loads of energy, and just like, so it sort of like calms me down. You know, you come back, you have a shower, you're chilled out then, you know what I mean? And I think just in terms of this journey, you know, I never thought 2 years ago I would be where I am today. You know, I never thought I would lose the weight. You know, you just believe in yourself day in, day out, and you see where it ends up. So, you know, we've got the Muscle Minded on TikTok that me and Rob are doing at the moment. We want to grow that. You know, we spoke briefly before about the supplement brand.
Yeah.
You know, putting quality products onto the market that I believe in, that people believe in, and show real results. None of this rubbish with bulking agents in and all that sort of stuff. You know, pure quality, clean supplements for people. I think keep training, keep hitting it hard. You know, maybe a marathon next year. Just see what life brings, to be honest.
And you know, when you started them 2 years ago, what was the thing? What was it? You looking in the mirror and having enough, seeing the guy who wasn't in the shape, or was it the level of energy, or what was the main thing?
I think the problem with me is everybody is always so nice. You know, it's like, you know, you're not fat. You know that, and I was fat.
So you have to be critic to yourself, basically.
I think so. I think, you know, I was never happy when I was looking in the mirror, even though, you know, I look at the pictures now and I think, my God, you know what I mean? I think, you're bloody hell, but no one ever said you're fat.
Yeah.
You know, if someone had said to me you're fat, you know, it wouldn't hurt my feelings. You know, it's probably the kick up the arse that I needed at the time to do it. So I think if someone had said that, it probably would have been a lot sooner than, you know, 10 years getting in that shit. I probably wouldn't have got to that point. Yeah.
I don't think you would take it personally, because you've always been one of those who would listen and then took it on a chin and just move on and do something about it.
I grew up on a council estate. It doesn't matter what you say to me. You know, I'm like bulletproof. It just bounces off me. It's just the comment in it, you know, sticks and stones and that sort of stuff. So I think... you know, I wish someone had told me earlier, you know, this is what I needed to do. You know, I probably should have got a PT from the start. Probably should have had that training program. But, you know, you make your own choices in life. And I think if I'd gone in there and done weights, I probably wouldn't have got where I am today. If I'd just gone... I had to strip back.
Yeah. You had to
and
burn
build up
that
again.
First,
there was a lot of abuse from 10 years drinking, food, you know.
Yeah.
And I think...
That's what I did, but... very, very early age. I was 15. I was coming back from school. I think that was a second year of college or something like that. 15 years old, and just eating shit and watching TV. That's all I was doing. And as I told you, everyone in my class were doing some kind of sport. There were ice hockey players, water polo, swimming all the time. There was a guy who did karate, then boxing, and I was the only one who was doing fuck all. And I'm thinking myself, I can't look like this, you know, I have to do something with it. And I did the same. I went extreme. I lost the weight. And I remember I met one friend of mine. She was my friend's girlfriend. And she's looking at me, is that you? She didn't recognize me on the street. I lost literally, in kilograms, I think I lost from 90 to 70 kilograms, like 20 kilos. Yeah. But I was obsessed. Like reading Muscle and Fitness, you know, looking at the exercises that I could do at home with a couple dumbbells. And then obviously I had punching bag, and that was it. Just cardio, whatever I could do, running and, you know, jumping on rope.
I think it does what you're right there. It becomes an obsession. Like now, if you look at my phone, I've got 340 exercises. You know, because I don't want my muscles to get stagnant. I want them to get, you know, I want to do something different all the time and mix them routines up. So I think they say 340 different exercises for me to pick and choose, and they're all in folders like abs, chest, biceps. And that's what I do. I look at them and say, this is what I'm going to do, and plan my week out like that.
I think you should create some programs for people.
Yeah.
You know.
It's too clever for me, that sort of stuff. I mean, in terms of the app technology, but I'd love to, you know, create that for individuals. You know, it's not a one shoe fits all.
Yeah.
It
like
has
you said,
to be tailored to that person.
Definitely.
You know, just like you said, within business, you have different people. You know, and whether or not that is one person, you know, who lives a really hectic lifestyle, they might be not getting back in till 9 o'clock at night. And that's when food and stuff just becomes, you know, you're bunging a microwave meal in, or you're ordering a pizza, whatever that may be. And I think it's just re-educating people. You know, I think there's something special about food and, you know, eating wholesome food. And that's why I took the allotment on earlier in this year. Mm-hmm. That was sort of the next step in, you know, growing your own food and seeing where it comes from and how it grows. And, you know you've grown it. Mm-hmm. It's not that it's cheaper or anything like that, because it costs a fortune, you know, in terms of the compost and the seeds and everything. But, you know, when we go into a supermarket now, we just pick what we want all the time. I think there's something very special about just growing your own food as well.
And what's your diet like? What do you eat on kind of like regular basis?
So I don't calorie count anymore, obviously. Mm-hmm. You get to know your own body. So
what it needs and how much it needs.
Yeah, I think sometimes when I'm really hungry, it's like I have to eat straight away. Yeah. So you can feel it, your hands go cold, and you know you just feel different. And I think rather than just go and have a chocolate bar, which does nothing for you nutritionally, go and eat some nice food. So every morning I have 4 eggs, piece of sourdough. If I'm feeling nice, I might have a little bit of cheese on the side of that. Mm-hmm. Then it'll be chicken or fish for my dinner. And then just depending what we're having for tea, the kids are having, etc. But it'll be, you know, normally some sort of meat, vegetables, and then protein throughout the day. But yeah, I am really good in terms of my diet at the moment. Mm-hmm. You know, Christmas is coming up. I'm not sure if it will stay that way, but I know.
Yeah, but you could have cheat days from time to time.
Yeah, definitely can have cheat days, and it's not the be all and end all if you do fall back in terms of what you're doing. It's all about what you do the next day. Mm-hmm. No, we did a TikTok. Well, I did a TikTok the other day, and I was out on the road for work, and we pulled up at the services. I pulled up at the services. And I walked in and the sign is like KFC, McDonald's, you know, Greg's. And you're looking for a healthy option. And, you know, this is millions of people use that motorway every day. You know, there's nothing healthy in there. I think the lowest calorie sandwich was like 650 calories, you know. And, you know, what's that saying? It's just easy to grab, isn't it? You know what I mean? So if you forget your food like I did on that day... You know,
from time to time, they have boiled eggs, which I grab from time to time.
Yeah,
you know, just
they're really hard to find, though. It's like everyone's on a health kick at the minute and just taking the eggs. So I think unless you... it's very difficult to find nutritious food when you're out on the road as well. And I fully understand everybody, you know, it is easier sometimes just to grab.
Does it take a lot of your time to watch these, or is it just became a discipline again, and just a natural habit that you always go for, you know, nutritious and good food?
To be honest, I go for food that fills me up. So, you know, a pizza won't fill me up because I'll be hungry an hour later. So, but chicken, rice and vegetables, you know, you get a lot more from that food.
Yeah.
And I think it's sort of after you've had a good gym session, you want to fuel your body. You haven't just spent an hour in the gym to go and blow it on a pizza.
Yeah.
And I think if you change that mindset, you know, your body will become what it should be. This isn't, you know, when we were hunter-gatherers, we weren't eating Domino's. You know, nothing was ever given to us on a plate. It wasn't contactless payment, and we were taking it from the shop. You know, so I think just going back to cooking, and there probably should be something there for kids to get involved in more cooking and, you know, that sort of thing as they're growing up, because I don't know, but my kids love a takeaway. I often decline when, you know, they're having that takeaway, but I think if they knew how to cook as well properly, and I think, you know, we probably need to go back and show people how to cook nutritious food, because it's being taken away daily, Deliveroo and stuff like that, you know, it's being taken away from us, and it's at the touch of your fingertip.
We cook a lot, to be honest with you. It's in our, I mean, Eastern Europeans, we cook a lot.
Yeah.
Couple days a week we would cook, you know, meat, rice, vegetables, and
100%. I think
I'm not saying we don't have takeaways. Of course we do. You know, me and my lad, we love curry from time to time. You know,
have you ever tried making your own curry though?
Yes, a couple of times.
I know, it's a lot of it. It's a lot of ingredients.
Yeah.
It's better. It's better.
Yeah.
I often make a nice curry. The problem is now my body is like, if I have a curry or anything rich, to be honest, I often get really bad indigestion.
Really?
Yeah, because I am so Mr. Bland.
Yeah.
You know, everything is like chicken and vegetables and rice. I think my stomach doesn't know what's going on when something hits it, you know.
What's these all spices in here?
Yeah, what's all this? So it often has the adverse effect for me, to be honest. So, yeah. And everything is good in moderation. Like I said, it's, you know, you just touched on then Eastern Europeans. I think that's probably the one thing saving at the moment, people cooking their own food. The Western world is, you know, it's becoming more and more just fast and easy, isn't it?
Thinking about leaving UK for the better lifestyle? Picture yourself in Cyprus. Sunshine, sea views, and slower pace of life will help you to find your dream home on this beautiful island.
Two years ago, when you made decision to change your body, did you stop drinking completely alcohol? Obviously, you would have a beer, like you said, but you weren't drinking anymore, like 4 or 5 pints and stuff like that.
No, at the time I was all in. It was, I'm either in or out, and I'm all in. You know, jumped in both feet, and that's it. So I'm training at that point, and I'm, you know, counting every single calorie. I'm doing probably 1750 calories, so I'm on a calorie deficit. Then I'm probably doing 500 calories on the cross trainer. Especially as I get longer and longer on this cross trainer. So, you know, I'm in a calorie deficit of probably 1250 per day. And then it just naturally starts to come off you. And then after probably about 2 or 3 months of losing the weight, then I started doing the sit-ups and the push-ups at home. Still building that confidence, even though I'm going to the gym to hit there. Yeah. Still building that confidence each day, you know. And I'm just doing sit-ups, push-ups constantly at home. Every morning, every night, and it's routine, and that's what it is. Gets to about 6 months, and I've lost, you know, nearly 6-7 stone. There's no Manjaro, there's no anything like that. I didn't even know what they were until someone told me, you know, so there's nothing like that. And then, you know, you pick up a weight for the first time and, you know, your muscles are aching, and I don't think there's a better feeling than that. You know, the next day when you've got that ache and, you know, you feel like you've done something.
You've done something.
Especially in my job, you know, when you're out on the road all day and you're sat there for long periods of time, you know, that actual muscle ache is a real good ache for me. it gets to the point now where
so the alcohol just went basically
completely
with a different lifestyle. You just change it for different lifestyle.
Yeah, complete different lifestyle, and I think that's when everything starts to fall into place. I think once you get rid of alcohol, like I said, I'd get to the weekend, you'd drink, you'd eat the rubbish food. I can have one drink and I can still feel it the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you just don't feel the same. I don't know whether it's you don't sleep properly or...
Probably, yeah. I think it mess up your sleep.
Yeah, I can tell if I've had one because my sleep is obviously different compared to where it was. And you just don't feel the same, whether that's one or two. I'm not anti-alcohol, by the way. I'm not saying people don't go and drink.
Me. Listen,
everything in moderation.
I've got 30 bottles of whiskey over there,
nice collection.
I can't say that, I'm against it, but I definitely feel benefits when I cut it to absolute minimum.
Yeah.
Because I can train on Saturdays, I can train on Sundays, and where before, when you have good couple, I'm talking 4, 5, 6 beers, you definitely feel it on Saturday. And, the training wouldn't be the same than without it.
No, you can feel it within yourself. And I think it's different drinking whiskey to what it is drinking beer. Beer is quite heavy in terms of what you've got, and it bloats you up. But whereas whiskey, it's quite clean and crisp. So I think depending what you're drinking, what you're doing, like I said, my wife still drinks. She trains as well. We've got a really good relationship the way we train together now, and I think we've almost got closer as the kids have got older. We do everything together.
Did you start training the similar time, like 2 years
ago?
No,
I think she was probably about a year after me. I remember it was her brother's wedding, and then she seen a picture. I'd lost all the weight, and she wasn't happy with the way she looked, and that's probably what triggered her to start training. But I remember going to Amsterdam for her brother's stag do, and I'd not drank for... I don't know, probably, I'm going to say a good 6 to 8 months that I'd been on this journey. I'd not drank, and there was obviously 20 people, and I was one of the best men at his wedding, so it's not like I could get out of it, you know what I mean? And I remember I'm not drinking, get to Manchester Airport, I've already drank 4 pints before I'm on the plane, and then the next day, I wake up, I'd gone to bed late, which my body hadn't done for 8 months, and I couldn't move on the Saturday. I'd only drank something like 8 pints. Yeah. And I couldn't move all day Saturday, and it was like, I'd lost my bank card, I'd done, it was just absolute. And it's sort of like, that's what I do. I just hate feeling like that now. I love, getting up early, getting out with the dogs, getting your 10K
steps routine.
Have the routine, whatever that looks like for different individuals, but just getting out and doing something.
Listen, to get to this kind of shape, you definitely need to have that discipline. You have to have structure. There is no way you can achieve it if you don't have discipline in diet and training as well. Yeah. You don't achieve it if you train twice a week and you eat shit 5 days a week. Unfortunately, it just doesn't.
The calories are too easy to mount up, aren't they? The calories are so easy just to get to a point where you're putting more in your body than what you're burning. Yeah. And I think that's when you do become stagnant, and you do have to be disciplined, consistent, keep up the motivation. And don't get me wrong, in the middle of winter when it's raining outside and it's dark,
it's not enjoyable.
Wet, you have to go to dark places in your mind to really grind it out and do it. But never set an alarm. I always wake up between 4 and 5.
My mate Matt, he walked 300 kilometers without a sleep.
Impressive.
He went from Manchester to London.
Wow.
In the biggest storm, that was like 3-4 weeks ago, when there was that big storm. Yeah. And he was walking.
Yeah, I remember.
He did it for the girl. She needs some operation, so he's raising money for her. Wow. Honestly, what a warrior.
Yeah. And can you imagine the dark places he had to go to in his mind? When you
I really want... I invited him for podcast, but he's busy. He's model. Yeah. That's what he does for a living. And I would love to, have a chat about it, because I guess he was in the dark places.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. You have to go
walking
to
3 days
places
without a sleep, and in the biggest storm. And
can you imagine?
I've seen pictures of his feet. They were shattered.
I think your mind would be telling you to stop at every 100%
sleep.
Yeah, it's like now you might say, oh, he's disciplined. He loves doing this. For the first 16 minutes of my run, my brain is telling me, fucking stop, you stupid. That's what it's saying to me for the first 16 minutes.
Yeah.
Once I get past that barrier, I can go for as long as I want to go for.
You feel good. And
yeah, but for that first 16 minutes, it's like, what are you doing? Your legs are trying to cramp up. Everything's telling you to stop. And I think once you smash through that barrier, you get to a point and you can just, your brain then switches into a different mode.
I remember after I've seen him to do that, obviously we go to same acting school, Manchester School of Acting, and that's where I met him. And I remember when he posted when he did that, and I went for a run like 2 days after, and I'm running, I'm probably 2-3 kilometers in, and my legs started hurt, and the mind started with all these shitty excuses like, fucking hell, you're too old for this shit.
Yeah.
Just go back. Fuck this. Your hamstring hurts. And then I'm thinking, he just walked 300 kilometers without a sleep 3 days. Like, what's your excuse?
No, it's impressive, that is.
And I just went, and, people like this and people like you, you always find people who can inspire you. You always, I'm meeting a lot of business people recently, even through this podcast. I found out that this was the best investment in my life, because the caliber of people that I'm meeting is just incredible. And the stories, every one of us has some story to tell, some journey that we're on. And I'm just trying to learn from everyone something, and if you take the best things from people that you meet on your journey, it's very powerful.
I think as long as you are inspired by them and don't compare yourself to them.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not saying
I've never been comparing myself with anyone. I never had that in me. Like, I had friends back in days, they were driving beautiful cars. I was driving my dad's car because I didn't even have money to buy my own car.
No.
And I wasn't envy. Never. No. I was looking, right, okay, what do I need to do? To get the car like that.
The only battle that you face is with yourself on a daily basis.
100%.
And like I said at the start, if you can be 1% better than yesterday, that's enough. That should be enough every single day. You've only got to be a better person than what you were yesterday. And if you constantly strive to do that, so let these people inspire you, but write your own story. Go and write your own story.
We are writing our own story.
We only get one life. What better journey to go on? Go and write your own story.
100%.
Whether someone watches this and says, I'm going to go and get into fitness, I'm going to contact him because I want advice, because if they do, I'll be happy to answer any questions for him. But, go and write your own story, whether that's business, fitness, whatever that may be, just go and do it. Take the leap and just do it.
Sometimes we have to jump.
You have to jump. And if you don't jump, you'll only be regretting it. Look, when you left that contract, you went to another one 2 years later, and then you took the leap of faith.
Yeah.
And you've never looked back since.
Did you really see me doing the leaflets?
I did.
What
I did. I was travelling to one of my sites and I seen you doing it. And I thought, he will make it, And at the time, you probably had...
Because that was 2 years after we've been, working together and... going on a big contract, and then it's me walking on the streets with a rucksack and leaflets.
Out the leaflets. I actually think I texted you at the time saying, was that you? Because I was that surprised.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't have been surprised, should I? Because you would have done whatever it took to get where you need to be.
It was a tough time that time, because I was out corporate world. There wasn't a salary coming like it used to be, The hardest part for me was to change that mindset of, being employed and going into business, because I knew everything I will make, I have to make myself.
Yeah.
There is no one coming to help me.
That's the leap of faith. When you've got them bills rolling in every month, and they are the stacked
you have
up
to
one
believe
after
in
the
yourself.
other, you have to
believe in yourself. You have to put the work in. Like, I don't work as hard as I used to in my property business now, but I've created a network. I've got deals coming my way from people that trust me and they know I can sell them or, do the business together.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, I had to build it. I had to build some kind of reputation and everything. It's tough.
You had to grind and you had to graft. And
Yeah,
it's
mate, I've done these leaflets for first couple months, probably 4 or 5 months until I managed to get some phone calls from the people who were selling the properties. And believe me, those 4 or 5 months, I wasn't making any money.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. And I remember I had a structure, I had a map, and I wanted to get to different areas. Started with Wigan locally, then I went to Manchester, and every day I would jump in a car before 9, and I was coming back home like 5 p.m. and I would deliver, I don't know, 1,500 leaflets, just walking on the street. I've got a couple of pictures. There is picture, I think, in my book as well, me just fucking drenched, wet, because it was raining outside, and that's what I had to do to follow my dream to be in a business, basically. That was the price I had to pay.
And you took that leap of faith.
And, sometimes you have to pay the price, and
100%.
Sometimes it's more time you have to put in, sometimes it's more graft you have to put in, and nothing's for free.
No. And it's the exact same principle goes with fitness. You have to grind, you have to graft.
Yeah, no one will do that exercise for you. No one will wake up your ass and, take you for a run.
No.
You have to take your body for the run.
And that's exactly what you have to do, day in,
day out.
And nothing will change. And if you want to get to where you want to be, whether business, whether fitness, whatever that may be, you're going to have to grind and graft. And it's as simple as that. There's no secret formula that is going to work. You just have to be consistent.
No shortcuts.
No shortcuts.
Definitely not in fitness.
No. And like I said, sometimes I drive myself mad that my brain thinks, I want to just do fitness all the time. And I think you had a previous guest on here who was pretty similar. He trained 7 days a week as well.
Yeah, Royce. What a legend.
Yeah. And he's still
I just
going.
posted 2 days ago because I went to his gym. I always go once a week. I go to that gym, and he gave me training, and he's got this new concept to strength machine there, which is for pulling, but you're not pulling, you're pulling the weight.
Yeah.
So, I improved on 2,000 kilograms. I've done it before 116, and now I did it for 110, but just because he was next to me, screaming, "You can do this, Martin. You're better than last time."
Yeah.
Then he's giving me trainings like 500 meters rowing and 50 slam balls from it straight away, on time, basically. Just different type of exercises I never done before, but that's where is my check-in, like how fit you can be when you watch him doing 1,000 meters, that skier.
Yeah, it's ruthless, that.
Mate.
Come off.
Last time he asked me, I was almost after training, and he says, "You want to do five rounds with me?" I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I will do." So 5 times 100 meters. So he finished 100 meters, and I went straight away.
Yeah.
And then we'd done some 35 kilogram slam balls,
Nice.
just over the shoulder, like a wrestling, from just different type of trainings. But he's 70.
Yeah.
He's fit.
It's all going, innit?
He will be here, I don't know how many years. And when I compare it, when I went to Slovakia last year, I took my auntie to pension house because she can barely walk. She's got diabetes, all sorts of problems that person can have. She's taking 8-10 tablets a day.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. And look at the Royce, same age, 70.
I know.
And
Genetic freak.
And he's just training. He's disciplined
himself, isn't he? But I think that's one of the important things. I think, because I didn't train for 10 years, my body now has a lot more in it. If I trained consistently, I probably wouldn't have to train as hard as what I did. And I think, if you can keep that up throughout your life, and I'm not saying go 7 days a week, go 4 days a week. Just make sure you're eating healthy 5-6 days of the week, and just be consistent. And I can guarantee Royce won't be eating pizzas every night, you know, because he wouldn't train as hard as what he did. You know?
Definitely.
And I think that's the important thing in life, you know. We only get one shot at this. It's not, you know, it's not a rehearsal. You get one shot.
If you don't go for competition or something like that, I don't think you have to take it to extreme levels. But having a discipline and, you know, train, you will definitely feel better.
Yeah.
You will be better in your headspace. You know, your life will be better.
100%.
You've got more energy for everything. You know, when I train in the morning, I trained this morning, I feel like I've done something for myself. I feel my body...
It motivates you to want to go and take on the day. You know, it really does. You can feel groggy about yourself. You can get up late, go to work, live in the bubble, or you can go and do something and step outside that comfort zone.
100%.
You know, and I think that's the important thing, is just constantly challenge yourself. Don't be, you know...
Do you read books?
Yeah, I love reading. One of the good books that... Because as you know, I hated speaking to people at points, and it took a while to step out. And you know, Ant Middleton, The Fear Bubble, really enjoyed it. David Goggins' book, anything that can motivate me and drive me, to be honest. And I think it's important reading, and like we said earlier, just to give your mind a break from.
I've got one book from Ant Middleton. I think it's called something about mindset.
Yeah,
I gave it to my barber. He's reading it now.
Yeah, he's really good, and I think. Some of the stuff that he does, but not only that, I love listening to podcasts as well. You know,
inspirational from other people.
Yeah, definitely. And I think just listening to stuff that you wouldn't normally listen to and hearing someone else's perspective as well. It doesn't have to be all fitness, and you know,
of course.
And not everyone is going to be into fitness, but
as we said, we have, you know, different journeys, all of us, and different priorities. But I think look after yourself from health perspective is definitely important. You want to live as long as you can. You know, we both have kids. I want to be lifting my grandchildren up and not being unfit grandpa who can't even walk stairs up, you know.
No, I agree with you. 100% agree with you. And one of the nice things is about the allotment, when we took the allotment on, so like I said, it's not just about the one side of the fitness, and this it provides a real good back to nature sort of experience, you know, growing your own food. There's something special about it. But one of the nicest things when I walk through them allotment gates and you close the gate behind you and lock it away is people actually talk to you. I can go out on the street now and no one talks to you. Everyone's miserable. Nobody wants to say hello to you. No one wants to. But there's genuine people who will help you, you know, and we couldn't have got where we've got to with our allotment without help and advice off other people. And there's loads of people out, whether that's a fitness journey, a business journey. Like you said, you're connecting with people day in, day out. And I think that's the important things to really clasp onto, and just
networking is important as well, you know, going out to people and meet new people, because as I said, everyone's got different journey. You can pick and choose whatever you want from each of them, and you know, get inspired.
100%. And I think
every person who was sat in that chair, mate, inspired me. Every person. And they're not millionaires. They're not people, you know, because I think sometimes we measure success by certain number, the lifestyle that people live, you know, but people who were here, they inspired me with their life journeys, you know. I think
some of the most ordinary stories are the most extraordinary.
And that's what I wanted to do, to be honest with you. When I was setting up all this podcast, my idea was ordinary people have the most extraordinary stories. And that's how it is.
And they'll always have a story to tell you.
There's
always something that has happened within there, you know, whether it's my fitness journey.
I guess you've got some stories from council estate.
Lots
back
of
in the days.
Like I said, but some really good memories as well, you know, when we didn't have anything. It was hand-me-down clothes, it was different things, but some of the best people come off them council estates, you know, some of the most loyalist people that you'll ever meet in your life. And, you know, everyone had each other's back. I think the lack of community nowadays... you know, it was completely different when I was growing up, and probably most of the guests that come on here, it was completely different. It's I sad to see now that you don't see many kids playing out. Obviously, the times have changed as well.
Gadgets and all
gadgets have. They don't need to leave the house these days, do they? Especially with this VR headsets and stuff like that. You know.
Is your lad doing any sport? Is he playing football?
Yeah, he plays football. He's a defender like me. We've just got him into doing PT classes. Obviously, I could take him to the gym with me, but I think, you know, I don't want to push him. I don't know what his body's capable of at this moment in time. So it's better that a professional, you know, person spends that time with him. And it's good to connect with someone outside of me as well.
Yeah.
We did have him a gym membership for probably 3 months where he never bothered to turn up. So it's not like I'm pushing on the family, you know, to turn up the gym. And then the daughter, you know, she's 19. It was her birthday day before. So she's turned into a fantastic lady as well, you know. Really proud of what the kids are doing, you know.
Brilliant.
And yeah.
I've just seen some article that the premier of Malta, I think it's Malta, the island, gave young guys, I think from 13 to 16, free gym.
Wow. I think
because he likes gym, he trains.
Yeah.
So he see an opportunity to show this new generation, you know, 13 years old, to start early.
I think,
and that's the age where I experienced gym first time. I was 14, close to 14, 13, 14.
So I think the gym where I go, it lets people go from that sort of age as well.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, it instills discipline, and it'll give you discipline. If you get hooked on the gym, 100%. What better feeling is there than going to the gym? Especially when you look good, age.
You know, when you feel good.
Yeah.
I remember one story. I was in school, and this is me going to that gym. I was 14, just very beginning. But we were probably 5-6 months in, so I could start to see the difference. Like,
so we were doing in the mirror.
We were doing bench press, and I could see my chest growing. You know, I always had good chest. So, and there is this bird waving at me, the fittest bird in my class, and she's waving at me. Come here. And I'm like, what? And I came to her, and she put the hands on my chest pecs, and she's like, wow.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking myself, fucking hell, this shit works. So I was hooked straight away. Like,
it definitely works. If you keep it up every single day, it definitely works. And like I said, what better feeling as a kid that's got all that testosterone pumping around the body to go to the gym and use it effectively.
100%.
You know, and it stops them going out on the street. It stops them going out, you know, sitting in the room all day. I think, you know, it's sociable for them.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely something in with younger people going to the gym as well, and just being given the opportunity to go and train. So
it's a good business to be in as well.
Yeah.
So
really good business.
You go in the right direction. You already proved yourself. You know, you made an incredible change from where you were before and where you are now. Yeah. Mindset and training, and I think, you know, very soon you will
watch this space. Big things might happen.
Very soon you will reap the fruit.
Yeah, and that would be the next journey. You know, like I said.
Do you want to give back now? Like, you feel like you want to change some lives?
Yeah, I feel like people? I feel like in this sector I've got a lot to offer to people.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, because I know what the grind is like day in, day out for everyone. You know, I've been
especially going from, you weren't big, but you know, I guess you need it. It took that 6 months of grind to get that body in a shape.
Yeah, and
it's not easy when you go from that state.
It's hard to be as disciplined as probably what I was. You know, looking back on it, it's probably too quick. 6 months to drop all that weight.
What was your weight?
21 stone.
21 stone. What's that in kilograms?
I don't know. I'm 90 kilos now. More than that. More than
120,
that.
something like that.
I'm 90 kilos now, so I reckon 140, 150. So, you know, to drop that much weight, and the good thing is, I don't have loads of stretch marks either. So you'd think being that big, I would have a lot of stretch marks, but no, really, just around the top of my arms where I lost the weight. But no, just keep going, keep grinding. I'd love to give more to people who are going through the same journey. And there's lots of people out there who just aren't motivated to go and hit and do it. And I'd love just to pick up the phone to them and say, listen, you've got it in you. You've got that down there, deep down there somewhere.
Yeah.
You have got it in you to go and do it. You just got to go and find it. And, you know, do you look in the mirror every day and say, I'm not happy with where I am? If you don't, that's absolutely fine. But if you're one that wakes up in the morning and says, I'm not happy with how I look, only you can change it.
I'm saying the same thing all the time, but I think everyone should find their own thing.
Yeah.
In life.
100%.
Their own path, where they belong. You know, for me, I always felt it was business, no matter what business, but business. I wanted to be in a business.
I think even if it's just going walking or it's going, like you just said, business there, whatever that may be.
Whatever makes you happy and feel good.
Find your passion.
Sometimes it's tough because we still have to make a living. We still have to, you know, make money to bring bread on the table. Yeah. But, you know, if you go for it, if you have discipline and if you keep going, pushing, it will happen for anyone out there.
100% it will happen. And
if it could happen for us that we found our things, you know, everyone can find it.
No, agreed.
You just have to be sometimes with yourself and sometimes brutally honest, like you said, you know.
To be honest,
you're not big bones, you're fucking fat, you know, move your ass and train.
That's it. Like I said, when I walked into them services the other day and it's 700 calories in a Krispy Kreme donut, you know, it's so easy to slip back into them ways, and, you know, you can pick them up. But I think I was fat. There's no two ways about it. And if I, you know, and if I can help somebody change their life, and that's what it is, it's life changing. It
boosts your confidence. You feel great. You know, you get great comments from people. You know,
it's when you look in the mirror and say, you know, that's what your hard work does, day in, day out. When I used to look in the mirror, it was like, you know, that's the feeling.
Nothing exciting.
No energy, nothing, you know. And like now, I train, my wife goes to the same gym as me, got a fantastic life, you know, what more can you want? And it's about the longevity of that life as well, you know, the longer that I can keep pushing myself for. And I want to be Royce in the gym at 70. That's what I want to be, you know. I want to still be training when I'm that age, and if I've got that in me, you know, you've done something right.
Yeah, 100%. Question that I ask everyone, is loyalty important to you?
Loyalty is massively important. Like I said, when we just touched back on when we were going back to our business days together at that contract, you know, without a loyal team that we had there, it would have been nothing.
Yeah.
We
wouldn't survive without the team. Like no. I told you, in that, when we turned that contract around and it was doing well, I felt like a king. Yeah. Like a king that's got kingdom and people loyal to him, soldiers and, you know, people who would do anything for him. That's how I felt. And that's why we succeeded, because without the team behind me, I would be nothing there. Nothing at all.
When you have loyal people around you, but it's giving that loyalty to the right person as well, you know.
Of course.
You know,
because some people don't appreciate it, unfortunately.
Yeah, and they will take it, but they'll never give it you back. But when you find loyal people, then they'll run through
and they
brick
pay
walls
back.
for you.
It's just so powerful.
Yeah. And, you know,
and that
you can achieve anything with a
that was one example, you know. Yeah. We achieved great things, and we've got good memories out of it. It shaped me as a man, because, you know, I had big responsibility on my shoulders. You know, you as well, you took over, you know, you built your way up to regional manager.
And I'll probably still continue going, but like I said, once I can get into something fitness, that's probably where I'm really passionate about doing fitness.
And you see, you know? I just found you on the shop floor.
Yeah.
I was a fucking good recruiter. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. And then, so, you know, everyone has a life path.
Yeah.
And it may branch off at times, but it always comes back to where you were meant to be.
Definitely. Mate, it's been an absolute pleasure.
No, brilliant.
Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. It's been good to see you after a long time. Very inspirational what you've done with your body, and I'm sure that, you know, you will find your business as well, and you will start selling some supplements and training people. Because if that's what you want to do.
It's interesting when you don't speak to someone for so long, and it's like,
what made you to ring me? What made you to ring me?
I've no idea.
Honestly, because last couple of weeks, since I started focusing on this, and I started meditating in the morning, I've got my routine again. I wake up similar time. I go for training in the morning. Just things started happening like out of blue. Like you phoned me. I had a phone call from the other guy who's coming for a podcast as well. I met him 3 years ago.
Yeah.
He's like, Martin, it's Lawrence. I'm like, right, okay. Do you remember we met 3 years ago? And, you know, he's selling Jacob & Co. watches to millionaires and travel around the world. You know, I've not seen him ages. And then you phoned me as well.
It's just
and
weird
I'm thinking like, Stuart, you know, like great memories. You know, we've done a lot together, and it's just weird that everything start coming into places. You know,
it's just like I said, I think I just had a call in to ring you. It was more for a catch up than anything.
Yeah,
I'd seen some of the stuff you were doing as well. Pretty impressed with it, and it's just like, I'll just have to chat with you about it. It's sort of like on a similar path to what I was doing on the TikTok, you know, and it was like. But yeah, I only started that TikTok Muscle Minded just to try and give advice to people to say, you know, I was this fat guy.
Yeah.
And this is what I achieved. And I think the first one went viral. It's been a grind since. It's
Mate,
like,
you can take it to level that you would never thought it could be.
Yeah.
Honestly, you can take it to great business.
Yeah.
And make some serious money out of it. I know that's not the top priority, but you know it can go big because you've got story there, and you know you proved yourself that you grafted, and look at you now. You know,
it's the most realist story you'll hear. There's no bullshit from it.
Yeah,
I've lived and breathed every moment in that journey. So no, there's no bullshit there. And what the pain that they're going through, the muscle aches, the you know, the back pain, the broken ribs. I've done it all. And you still come out the other side. And
is that just because you were brutal with yourself, like, I'm fat, I got to do something with this? Yeah, and stuck in my ways. Every day was just the same. So you just felt like, I need to change something? Yeah, had to change something. I don't want my kids saying, you know, at 45, the dad's had a heart attack because... You know, any change is good. Yeah. This kind of change is life-changing for you, for your lifestyle and health, you know. When you're such a family man as well, and, you know, you sat there and you've got no energy to do anything, and, you know, your kids are growing up, I think that's got to be what inspires you to go and get off the couch. Yeah. You know, Couch to 5K, brilliant example. Go and do it. Run for a minute, walk for a minute, run for a minute. Whatever your challenge is, just challenge yourself. That's it. And there's no one else that will do it for you. Only you can do it. Unfortunately. 100%, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure. Oh, fantastic. Thank you. Cheers, mate, for coming. Thank you for great time.
At Rainbow Northwest, we make real estate effortless. Whether you're looking to sell on the market, off market through our exclusive investor database, or via auction, we've got you covered. Plus, we offer top-notch property and project management, including refurbishment for investors. We can help you to build your own portfolio. Let us help you on your real estate journey. Rainbow Northwest, your trusted real estate business partner.